Nice Charlie giving you Wednesday's video. I hope you're very well. So this week we're going to cover off Bitcoin, been asked about Bitcoin and swap charges as well. Before we do that, it is Black Friday week this week. Easy Trader have a sale on any of our products. So that would be our day trading product, our MBT swing, our DST swing, or any of our other products. So outside of the app, if you want 25% off. We don't do this at any other time of the year. Then what you would need to do is go to our, when you're on our site, just go to our whatever it is that you're wanting, and use a coupon code BF, Big Friendly, standing for Big Friendly, or Black Friday 25. That would be the coupon code to get you that 25% off. Right. Okay. Let's move on. So Bitcoin, been asked about this late, and it's attracting some attention because if I go to the daily charts, then you can see it's been coming down. I'm not particularly interested in Bitcoin in the short term. It's not something I'm overly interested in, but I appreciate lots of people are. And the way I look at it, Bitcoin, is this is the weekly chart here. It only shows so much data because this is the futures contract, and that's only been running since whenever that was, the end of 2017. Yeah. So it's on its weekly 50 at the moment. That would be a normal sort of expectation. Nothing unusual about coming down to retest the weekly 50 zone. So the way that I'd look at Bitcoin is I think this is still absolutely fine what it's doing. I think I said this a few weeks ago on a webinar that Bitcoin's probably going to be range bound for maybe the next year or two. I don't know how long, because it's however long it takes to flush out a load of investors basically and get them bored and disinterested. So I think it could form a bit of a range over the next couple of years. So it could bounce up, pull back again, and all of that, form a bit of a range, put off a load of investors, and then it can then creep up from there. So I don't know if it's a year, 2 years, but that's how I'd still be looking at Bitcoin. I think it's just in the process of just flushing out more people, get them bored, get them disinterested, and then it will creep up. A bit like it did at the beginning of this year. People started throwing in the towels, but then it had this amazing run, and I think that ultimately what's happened is that too many people have jumped on board again, and so they can't have that now, can they? So they'll do their best to put a load of people off, and then it'll creep its way up. So maybe it's not 2 years, maybe it's not a year, maybe it only takes 9 months. I don't know, but that's how I'm looking at this from a sentiment perspective. What would change my view on Bitcoin if it broke below these lows? So sort of 5,600, that sort of area. If I put the pen on around about 5,600 area, if it broke those lows, then I would be thinking, oh yeah, that's probably going to come back and test these lows back down here, in which case maybe something else is going on. But for the time being, I see this as just that it's trying to sort out a range. Okay, now Forex swap fees. Now, Forex swap fees, they're a normal part of trading. You can't avoid them. They are overnight fees if you're holding positions. They're only very small relative to your position. They do add up over time if you're in a position, and if the position goes against you, then they'll end up. You've taken a loss on the trade, plus you'll have some swap charges as well. But it swings and roundabouts, because if you are long a market like dollar yen, for example, then where you've bought dollars and sold yen, because the interest rate differential works that way. Yen interest rates a lot lower than US dollar, then you'd be receiving swap charges, swap fees. Or if you'd sold the euro against the dollar, so the euro being very low interest rate, so you'd sold euros to buy US dollars. So if you're in a situation like that, then you're going to be making your rollovers anyway. So again, it swings and roundabouts depending on the trade direction that you're taking. And you could say, well, I'll only ever trade in the direction where I receive swap charges. But I think that's a little bit, well, you're gonna miss out if you do that. So, and I think that yet again, it's people overly worrying about, oh my God, there's a charge. Yes, that's just part of doing business. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're planning on being in a trade for a year, then it becomes a consideration, but otherwise, I wouldn't worry about it too much. As far as the charges are concerned, yes, from broker to broker, they can vary. And before anyone says anything about, oh, I don't get a charge because I have a special account which doesn't charge interest, that's nonsense, because swap fees are a legitimate charge within the market. They come from the market makers themselves, from Citibank, Barcap, the Deutsche, whoever, the market makers, the real genuine market makers, the big institutions. They create the forex market. So and they're fed down the system. So if you've got an account which doesn't charge you, you're getting charged elsewhere, because the broker has to pay the charge. So it will be that you're picking up the charges one way or another, or the broker's just a market maker and doing away with it and trying to get you some other way. So don't think that you're being clever by having an account like that, because it doesn't work that way. It's a proper charge in the market. If you want the calculations for swap fees, then by all means just Google it, and you'll find any source of websites or whatever or brokers that will give you their swap fees. And now, like I said, some swap fees, because you've got the actual swap charge in the market, plus you then got the brokers will put a little bit of their commission on top as well. So not only are they charging you a commission to trade anyway, but they'll quite often put something on top just to make a little bit more money out of you. And some brokers charge more for swaps than others. So in that regard, it is a consideration, and certainly you will find that. And you can go to a broker. If you're assessing a broker, you can always ask them what their swaps are, and then you can compare them against another broker you might be having a look at. So it is that is a consideration. But effectively, swap fees are part of doing business. Sometimes you'll be paying the swap charges, and sometimes you'll be receiving it. So again, swings and roundabouts. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I don't. Just part of doing business in trading. Anyway, hopefully that's of use. I'm not around Friday. I'm away Friday, so won't be any live trading, but I'll try and get a video out maybe Saturday morning. Take care for now.